Good morning, Tartaria, Australia, and Autodidactic. We've made it through another week of this weird world of ours. How you going, buddy? So much has happened since we spoke last.
Yeah, man, so much has happened. Yes, they said lots would be going down, and 3 weeks in, pretty much both of our lives have been completely changed, right? Like we're we're,
Yeah,
we're suddenly on a different trajectory. So yeah, crazy. Exciting start to the year, right? Let the games begin.
I know. Yeah. So we had a bit of a flooding incident the last week, which took us like totally took over our week, I guess. And Campbell's
Oh yeah, man. I woke up and went outside, and the little creek that's sort of 20, 30 meters away was about 4 or 5 meters away, and it was a big river. Well, we had a lot of rain yesterday, and this is the creek. That's my dome, and that's the creek. The creek used to be obviously much lower and about sort of another 20, 30 meters away, and now, as you can see, it's a river. So the water's come up a lot. This whole side bit now, that's normally empty, that's completely full. And I think it's time to move my little dome to higher ground. This is what I woke up to, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting day, I think. I'm just going to have to move everything to higher ground, basically. Because that's basically, you can see there, that's the dome. And you can see that's the water. It's like literally 10 meters away, so, and only about not even a meter lower than the dome. So, you know, more rain and I could go under. So, you know, welcome to country life, right? So I think I've got a big day ahead of me. And yeah, so we thought the dome might go under that day. But so basically, yeah, we had to move the whole, had to empty the dome, all my stuff, get it up on a higher ground in a day, in the rain, by the way. It was just pouring all day. And yeah, so decisions, right? Like we've got to sort of we've had to make some decisions on what we're doing for the rest of this year, you know. But you know, it's good, right? We're moving forward, I think. You know, we've got to be in the flow. Because you know we're being told of all this stuff that's happening and all these disasters, and oh my God, we've got to watch out and apocalypse. But I think really, you know, even if that happens, we've got to be in the flow, right? We've got to listen to what we're being told, and we both got told something.
Yeah, I mean, like this is you can feel this like palatable, you know, edgy. Well, I feel this like edginess, going on around us, and I know, so many of us have been like, I mean, prepping for these times is, we've all been sort of prepping, whether it be physically or emotionally or psychologically, for something to occur, and like we all kind of went through the 212 and then we went through, the COVID. But this time, the beginning of 24, it does feel as if we've got a bit of edgy energy out there in the realm. And it definitely feels like something's upon us. I think this is going to be a terrific, terrifying, explosive, dynamic year. And like, 2 weeks into 2024, experiencing a flooding event which really came at the hands of honestly only a day or so of rain. And but I guess it's indicative for, well, at least we've taken it as indicative of being maybe what is ahead of us, which is sort of like very explosive, quick events that
Yeah.
have an immediate and strong impact on people's decision making and their path and direction. And to have that flooding event 2 weeks into January, it's like, oh, it's a fucking omen, man. It's an omen. Like, if we could flood out in a day, like, like, are we going to sit around and wait for the next one and the next one and the next one? So, I mean, I think it's been really good to see how what I feel like the energy is going to be flowing through this year, which is like stuff's going to happen globally, and it's going to happen quickly, and it's going to be high impact, and immediately like snap you out of any complacency, and you know, move you into action straight away. And you know, on one level, Campbell, it's you know, it's refreshing because you know, straight away there's clarity in your mind, you know, like there's no like sitting around and contemplating and what if. It's just like something's happened, you've got to respond and react. And I think that's basically what the whole year's going to look like.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
how's that
great, yeah. You
how's that nice big blue hat you're wearing? Call out, because you
yeah,
know,
shout
Campbell
out.
might.
Thank you to Kim who made these for us. She is Rock Tops, TOPZ on Instagram. And yes, she sent us these cool hats, top hats, hand knitted, handmade. We also got some gloves, and I got an extra little cap. What did you get a second hat? What
Yep.
did you get? Second
Yep.
hat, yeah. But mine are now somewhere. All my stuff is in my car and in like the cabin. All so I don't know where anything is anymore. But yeah, so big shout out to Kim. Thank you very much, and go and check out her Instagram. We'll leave links below as well, and get one for yourself. Right, look cool. Take on
I
the.
mean, do we look like 70s rock stars here? Like a little bit like Campbell's got that sort of 80s man pub vibe going on. I don't know what my vibe is, but I definitely feel like it's, you know,
I
we
think 80s man. Come on,
So, you know, it's so exciting because we don't often get presents in the mail. So, Kim, thanks, man. It was super exciting. And we really appreciate any gifts that anyone send us. Like, we fucking love it. And like, it feels so nice to have people like go to such an effort to, you know, to, I guess, say thank you and share their love. And especially when it comes and it's a handmade object, like, fucking, you can't beat that, can you? Nothing can beat handmade because there's so much love and time involved. So
yeah,
fucking yeah, man. We've
indeed.
got onto the rock stars today.
And I
Mine's not
had
sitting
two
correct because I've
calendars
got my
up. Someone sent me two calendars. Very cool. I don't have them here to show because all my stuff's, but no name. So whoever you are, you sent me one last year as well. So thank you. But I don't know who you are.
Campbell gets more presents than me.
Oh,
I know. And JC used to get so many presents.
didn't she?
I mustn't have the present vibe.
She needs more presents. She needs more love, guys. Yeah, I got some awesome ones from Anara, man. I got like a family crest, a family tartan, and a pocket watch, man. That's like engraved.
Dude, where's
I'll put
what?
I'll put pictures up. It's in a drawer. I know, right? Didn't I show you that?
He gets way more than me. I'm
This was like
jealous.
the day before I had to make from my dough, so everything's stacked up. But thank you to everyone and everyone who I haven't mentioned. And yes,
Yeah, no, it's very freaking cool, and
yes.
we really appreciate it, and thank you. Yeah, helping us look better, man. Like, check it out.
We're in the
So
in.
hey, like
Uh,
before we get into the sorry, Campbell, I'm
so I was
talking
just
over
going
you.
to say, yeah, it's the year of just to finish off what you were talking about of responsibility, right? We need to work on our ability to respond because I think that's all it is. Is we were talking about it last night, and we basically we don't know where anything's going to happen. We don't really know if or what or when or where. So I sort of look at it as everywhere's dangerous, but everywhere's safe, right? We just got to listen to ourselves, be able to respond, and make sure we're in the right spot at the right time. And definitely don't buy into the fear and lock yourself away. That's definitely not the way forward.
Well, I mean, it's a fine line. It's a tricky thing. Obviously, people do have their responsibilities, and they have their, you know, the life they've set up for themselves. And, you know, at the end of the day, like traveling is probably, you know, just as
Yeah.
unknown as staying put. Like, you know, you can travel and be caught up in something, or you could stay at home and be caught up in something. Like, it really doesn't really matter. And we were talking about that last night, and I guess it's just about making your own pathway and intending what it is. Like, you know, I can see how people would be nervous about moving around and making big calls and decisions this year. It definitely feels like feels so uncertain, but in a different way. Like when I said it felt edgy, it that's a different vibe than say 2 years ago. And can you believe that it's been 4 years since the COVID thing started? Like, oh
Oh,
my God, that blew my mind. Like this actually started in 2020. I can't believe that. Like we're in 2024.
mm,
Like this, it feels like, I mean, it feels like to me max 2 years has passed, but it's actually we're verging on four. I just
yeah.
time. I watched a documentary a few years ago and it went through it and analyzed time. And yeah, basically it was saying that our 24-hour day to day is equivalent to 16 hours 20 years ago. So when we were all growing up, like we basically had an extra 8 hours of time in a
And
day.
doesn't it feel like that? Remember, like, and it's almost a bit of a quote, but those summer afternoons, right, that literally seem and days, they just seem to last forever when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing, right? You start doing something, and it's like, what? 3 hours can't have passed.
Yeah,
What's
it's
going on here?
yeah, everyone can attest to it. Hey, like I know everyone out there can say, wow, man, time has definitely changed. It's definitely moving quicker. Or our sense of perception has changed and we're moving quicker. Probably more likely we're moving quicker. And I
Mm,
think one of the things about the next year, the next 24 months is it's those sorts of energetics that are feeling edgy to me. Like how we're perceiving like basically how our electromagnetic personal grid is operating in relationship to the atmosphere and to nature around us. Like there's definitely been some change there.
yeah.
And like I say, like we've been watching and call out to daydreamers. Anyone who has not clicked into Daydreamers, Cam will put a link. He does this fantastic show called The Omen Show. And I mean, I'm just loving all over it at the moment because it's basically a weekly podcast. And he basically has all of his audience from around the world send in weather abnormalities, like weird shit that's happening in the weather and just in nature in general. And it gives you this amazing, profound overview of the whole world right now, because we forget how we live in isolation. We forget how little content we get from the rest of the world. It's definitely not in the news anymore. And it just shows you all the weird shit that's happening in this weird world of ours right now. And it's quite overwhelming when you put it all together from around the all the weather abnormalities, the migration patterns of animals, the blossoming,
Yeah, the
flowers
plan. Yeah.
and fruit in the middle of snow in winter. The seasons are being affected. The oceans are turning red. There's new plankton everywhere. There's fucking shit popping up all over the place. There's some amazingly crazy phenomenon going on right now, and it's really cool to watch it all sort of on a 1 hour on a show with Jay as he like compiles it all and presents it. And a really big call out, I think, Campbell, if you're going to watch anything this year, like looking and observing the phenomena going around in our natural environment is by far one of the most I don't know dynamic things to be observing. Like it really gives you a heads up on the fact that we are going through a literal atmospheric shift. Like there's actually very tangible worldwide impact right now. And until you see it as a worldwide event, you just can so easily stay a bit, I guess, complacent because maybe around you, everything's kind of stable and it just feels normal. But yeah, I mean, I love this show.
Yeah, man. Watch the world, right? We were watching the world, and now watch the world and that's what Jay, talks about. Like everyone's always like, "When's it going to happen? When's something going to happen?" He's like, "Well, who knows? Just watch the omens, right?" And sort of they should tell us. And it's like you said, we don't get shown any of this stuff. But also, just want to mention, we don't get shown. Like, remember we were talking last night. Like in 2020, we were getting videos of all around the world what was going on. Now we don't get anything. Like in Australia, we get Australia, America, and a bit of England or the UK, and that's about it. But
Yeah.
there is a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of there's a lot happening around the world. So don't think that nothing's happening just because you're not seeing it. They've put us all in echo chambers. So
Mm.
You know, I think this year can be the best, you know, or the worst, depending on us, right? We're the common denominator. And I think, and I think the biggest thing, like we were saying, is flexibility, right? Just be flexible. Don't let possession possess you. But you know, that also doesn't mean, you know, don't be silly and go out and do strange things. But you know, if you feel the need to change, be flexible enough to just change, right? With and sort of make quick decisions, and I think that's the way forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't feel like a year used to be attached to anything. Like,
Yeah, I know.
like if even if yeah, like it definitely feels like you've got to be a little bit like more fluent and looser around sort of your choices, I guess, and to maybe know that like no matter where you stand on this realm, stuff is going to impact you in a surprising and could be stressful manner, but as long as you sort of like a little bit prepped for that concept, a little bit prepped and prepared that you're not sort of like digging your heels in, so things have to like actually bash up against you, like to move past you. It's sort of much more. I mean, we always talk about watch the water, and I guess this year it sort of feels like be a little bit more fluent and flowy like water, and allow things to move around you or to move around them. Like just
Yeah,
just
just
here.
be prepared, but don't be scared. You know, it's
Well,
you know,
it is a bit
probably have
freaky.
it is a bit freaky, but you know, it's good to have a few. You know, maybe create boxes of food there and a bit of a bug out plan, but you don't want to go changing your whole life and locking yourself underground or anything. In my opinion,
Well,
you should do whatever
well,
you feel like you need to do.
I'd love to have an underground.
But yeah,
But to be
having an
fair,
underground to go to, that yeah, man, like good bug out plans are the way to go, or find a cave somewhere up a hill. Was that
yeah,
thunder
just
I just heard, by the
I
way?
don't know. So
Because yes,
find a cave, Campbell.
like talking
That's
about
like
change, yesterday we
not
woke
that
up at
easy.
what, 38 degrees and like we were dying and the sun was really hot. And then what around lunchtime a storm rolled in out of nowhere. It started
Yeah.
raining. And then by 4 o'clock the whole area was covered in smoke. Like there were bushfires all around us. It was creepy, man. It was freaky
Yeah,
out,
it
right?
was weird. Yeah, it was weird. There was some
So
weird, yeah. The
something
thunder was
weird.
weird. Like it was rolling around us like in a vortex. It wasn't like bang. It was just like it was strange.
It was very strange, and we've seen some crazy lightning and just thunder that's just it just seems to sit in up there somewhere and rumble, doesn't it? Like a lot of times I thought it was a plane, but it wasn't moving, right? It just sort of sits above you and rolls and rumbles. It's like,
Yeah. There's definitely in Australia at least, we can testify. I mean, we can't talk for other countries, but there's definitely a lot of electrical atmospheric activity. There's a lot of lightning storms, there's a lot of thunderstorms, there's a lot of things going on atmospherically. Definitely weirder than we're used to, and stronger than we used to. There's definitely been a lot more lightning events, and a lot of them coming without rain, which is obviously the freakiest thing out here, to have lightning without rain. But yeah, I mean, definitely worth noting. And on that note, Campbell, we are about to lead into the elusive a ritual that is Australia Day here in Aussie land. And yeah, there was a great clip that came up on the Facebook page that I want to go through some of those clips today because there's been some good ones
mm.
on our Weird World update, you
it,
know.
yeah, it's interesting because yeah, I saw a meme on Facebook from the First World War, and it basically said, have a happy Australia Day, May 2nd, or some date in May, and I'm like, what? So I mean, it just shows us even with things like Australia Day, like I'd never heard any other date. We get told that's when Captain Cook came up in 1778, right, and jumped off the beach. But now we find out he was here at least 8 years before that. And it was actually, well, I won't give the plot away. I'll let the woman tell us. But it just sort of showed me that even that history that you take for granted, like it's all been changed, man. Like, you just can't trust
Yeah,
it.
it's true, it's true, it's true. Let's start on her. Let me bring it up.
All
I
right.
like this chick. She's good. All right, so screen share. Um One participant. Am I good to screen share?
You
Or do
should.
you have to give me permission?
Um,
All right.
all right.
Let's check this out. Let's start off the show with the weird and wacky, wonderful, absolute truth of what is Australia Day.
The date on which we celebrate something. Now, it's not the date Australia was discovered. That was done by people from Southeast Asia more than 65,000 years ago, so we don't know the exact date. And it's not the date the first Europeans set foot here, which was the 26th of February 1606, when a Dutch navigator landed on Australia's north coast. And it's not the date Captain Cook arrived in Australia, which was the 29th of April 1770, nor the date he claimed the east coast of Australia for Great Britain, which was the 21st and 22nd of August 1770. It's not the date Australia became one country rather than a loose collection of independent states, because that was the 1st of January 1901, and it's not the date we became a republic, because that's never happened. So what are we celebrating? Well, the 26th of January is the date that Captain Arthur Phillip raised the British flag at Sydney Cove and established a new British jail, which he did without permission from the locals. Remember those first peoples who came here 65,000 years ago? Well, them. People who never agreed to give up their land for said British prison, who never ceded sovereignty, and who fought back. People the British government didn't see as human, and who the colonisers were given pretty much carte blanche to murder, which they proceeded to do. So, the 26th of January is the day the British set up a prison on a country already inhabited by people who fought back and then were pretty much murdered indiscriminately. Happy Australia Day.
Well, I mean, Jesus.
It was the date they built the first prison. Interesting, man, isn't it? We were
Ever heard of that
colony,
history? I've
convict.
never heard of that history.
No. I mean, I knew about was it the Dusseldorf, I've forgotten the nationality, the Dutch guys who landed. But yeah, I mean, the whole 1770 thing, it's only sort of come into my consciousness over the last maybe 6 months. Before that, yeah, I just took it, well, silly me, believe the history, right? That it was all in 1778, because that's definitely what we're told. That's what we're taught in school, and it's incorrect. So, but the jail, I mean, geez, right? What a thing to celebrate. The first place they can lock us up.
I mean, it's perfect. It's a perfect thing for this agenda to make the formalized Australian Day. Unbelievable. I mean, of course, we've just never looked at it, but like literally, that we are celebrating the opening of a prison, which, indicates, of course, the state of the culture that we live in. Like,
Yeah, man.
it's crazy. Yeah.
Remember Great Southern Land? What does it say? It's a prisoner's island hidden in the sun for 1,000,000 years. Yeah, man. Icehouse got it right.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go on.
So I was going to say, I've also come across, which I'm going to do some digging into, is there was all these wars in Australia that we're not told about, and I think they were called the Frontier Wars, maybe. Don't quote me, but I'll do some more work. But basically, this series of wars from the 1800s up to the 1920s, basically the government against the Indigenous, and they were like full on proper wars. I think we're taught about the one massacre here or there, but
yeah,
there were all this series of proper wars going on that, again, I was definitely never taught about. It wasn't part of mainstream education, and so it's the apocalypse, right? Lifting it, everything's being unveiled for us now. We're starting to see what actually has gone on.
Yeah, it's frigging crazy. I mean, there's another article I want to show you after this, but there's actually an island off Australia called Heard Island.
Heard?
Which no one's, I'm just going with my old rocket here. Heard Island, and no one's ever heard of it because it's completely and utterly out of bounds.
Heard of it?
Yeah, no one's heard of it because it's completely out of bounds. It's a completely no-fly zone. No one can go there. It's only for formal research, but it's off the coast of Australia. Yeah. I mean, this is just like how much more shit is like just out there that we literally have never been told about and have never laid our eyes on. Like you think you pretty much as a 40, 50-year-old like have a sense of the country that you live in, what it looks like, and what's around it, sort of thing. But article after article is appearing now, like showing you stuff that you've never even comprehended. Now, when we talk about you know, like lands past, you know, past the continents and past Antarctica. I mean, that's a theory that we have all digested and assimilated and gone, yep, that's most likely the case. But like then you just like then you hear of a little island off the coast of Australia and you think you've never fucking heard of that. How easy has it been for them, they, them, what's their transgender pronouns? They, them, it, that parasitic agenda, to actually, you know, keep away from our eyes. Like I always knew when they released Google Earth how phenomenal that program was, because it really did, in that very moment, by giving us access to the earth, they basically were able to completely cut the earth in a way that they wanted to be seen or not perceived. Like, we think we can go anywhere in Google Earth, and literally it's like the biggest what would be a delusion ever.
Oh,
By giving us full view, they've like cut us off from knowing anything. Like,
yeah, man. It's like I put a video out a couple of weeks ago called "How They Turn a Flat Plane into a Globe," and when they do that, like they have literally got to cut out more than 50% of our realm. So we don't know what's out. 50%, man. Like there could be continents out there, definitely islands and stuff we're never told of. Because obviously, you know, when you turn a circle into a globe, you've got to make that circle a point.
yeah.
So there's so much gets cut out, and we've all seen the old maps where the Antarctica and Australia's either connected or there is no Australia. And yeah, we saw some interesting shots about the Great Australian Bight, right? Which looks, you know, maybe that's where it's ripped off Antarctica or something. But maybe we'll link, or actually maybe I'll do a show on it. Because we saw this article and it shows that not just Heard Island, and I think
I'm going to show that. That's
they
what we're going to show.
they
Let's
study
go through it.
the herd mentality gets studied on Heard Island, I think. But yeah, there's places you can't go everywhere, right? Like there's all these restricted zones in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't know about them because they're so isolated and remote. But which again, why would they be restricted if no one goes there in the first place, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at that article. Let's have a look. I'll bring it up. All right. Let's go. My crazy desktop. So, like, this is call out to Jojo, who posted this article on the Facebook page. She does some good work, that one. One of my good friends down in Daylesford. So Australia's not what it seems to be. I love this. So, like, this image here. Have you ever seen this image before, Cam? Before I showed it to you, ever seen it?
No, we
This
get the bite one, don't we, with the half circle kind of thing, but not that.
this is the coast of the Nullarbor. And like that sort of jaggedy formation around, like a couple of things are interesting here. So this is the coast of the Nullarbor. It's a complete and utter no-go zone. You can't drive there, you can't fly drones there, you can't fly anything there. Like it's completely and utterly out of bounds. Like, did you know that? I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
No. So basically what you're looking at here is the coast along the Nullarbor. Now the Nullarbor, for anyone who doesn't know, is like this road, I guess, that crosses over to Western Australia. It's like a long fucking drive, like 1,700 miles or something. You know, you're probably going up and down the coastline of England several times in the same distance.
3 days or something to get across it.
Yeah, it's 3 days of pure driving, and there's nothing. There's like nothing there, right? Now, what this is interesting because what they're talking about in this article is this coastline potentially is what actually broke off from Antarctica, which is where you get this like jagged, crazy coastline. And the reason Australia is full of such bizarre and a lot of the times deadly creatures is because they actually came from the original lands in Antarctica. And when Australia broke off, they were on the part that like floated away.
Yeah, the marsupials. And they kind of tell us the inversion of that, don't they? They say that we were part of Gondwana land and we broke off and all the other animals evolved, but ours didn't. They say it as marsupials, but it looks like it happened the other way. Because on the old maps, they draw animals, and you see like rabbits in there and frilled neck lizards and other Australian, things that look like kangaroos. And of course, that's all Australian wildlife. They tell us that rabbits aren't Australian, but I mean, we don't know that, right? Like they just say, oh, they sort of came over in ships and turned into a plague and all. But again, right? It's just a story. Same with camels. That one's a bit weird,
like,
right? They brought a pet.
pause, Campbell, pause. Let's talk about that. I mean, if you're on a fucking boat for like 6 months at sea, do you think there'd be rabbits just like hanging out on that boat, like unidentified, hiding away for 6 months?
There's no way, because apart from the fact they'd be stealing your food, they'd also be the best food there, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a crazy story. And remember the camels? We've covered it before.
Yeah.
They brought 2 over, and one of them died on the way. And then, so all our camels come from one camel. Like it's just the stories are crazy when you look into them. Horses, again, 9 months on a boat going up and down. Is it even possible?
No. I mean, so all right. Well, so this is conceptually, this could have been the coastline, because in all the old maps, Australia's joined to Antarctica, right? It's one continent.
Yeah.
And so let's just say that it's split off. But what's interesting about this image is that straight line that runs the whole coastline. We didn't make that.
No, see, I always, because you do see that it runs past, because there is one place you can go on the Great Australian Bight, where it's certified, that the peasants are allowed to go there and take a photo and say they've been there, and you see that road go past there, and I just figured it was the road they built, but it's not, right? It's been there for a long, long time.
So this is an old straight line, basically. Like this is really straight, and we didn't build it. And on top of that, it's completely out of bounds. You can't even fly a drone. That's why none of you have seen this image, because you can't even independently take a picture of it. Like fly over it. It's not allowed, right? So how's fucking that? So let's scroll down a bit. Of course, it was talking about star forts, and we can get into that, but that's not actually what I wanted to show you. Like with some of these, now here's an interesting one.
I've seen that, yep.
Yep.
Actually, I think I've seen that in Russia as well, like outside of Australia, that same kind of grid pattern.
Yep. So that's inland. Again, these are out of bounds. And you got all these strange lines that we didn't create. That looks like an explosion, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
All right. So I wanted to show you. So the other weird thing, this article, this is such a great article. Yeah. Yeah. So Australia has got 2 of the longest fences in the world. This is basically our Great Wall of China. And it's called one's called the dingo fence. Yeah, one's called the rabbit fence. So look how far that stretches. Like that's an insane amount of space.
I mean, for reference, that would be almost right across Europe, wouldn't it? Like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's 5,614 kilometers.
There you go.
And built in the 1800s, apparently.
Apparently.
And to this day, they maintain it, and it costs millions of dollars. And apparently, they built it to keep rabbits out. I mean, that is the dumbest motherfucking idea. I can't even believe that we soiled this sort of stuff. Would you split America in half, buy a fence to keep rabbits out? I mean,
and
it's
why
bizarre.
isn't it a straight line? If they want to keep the rabbits out of what? Out of New South Wales, I guess. Why isn't it a straight? Like, look, they took the long way around building that bloody fence, that's for sure, right?
And the thing is, right, there's always been rabbits on both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so it's It's not like there's Queensland, shit, there's a rabbit plague, let's cut it off from New South Wales. No, nothing like that. Literally, there's rabbits always. And this is what it looks like. Yep. I mean, this is it. It's not very big feat of architecture, is it?
No, I mean, half of those posts look like they're just sticks, don't they? Not even machined or anything. And there's another one that goes straight almost the length of WA, isn't there?
Yeah, there it is. And this one's called the rabbit proof fence. So this one was the dingo fence. Whatever. Dingoes are all over
I
Australia.
just forgot to take it all the way to the edge, right? So they can just walk
I
around.
know. So they left a corridor. I mean, and then this is the rabbit fence, the same thing. This is 3,265 kilometers long. I mean, there's several of them, like all over the place. Like, what is this? What is this?
It's just crazy because, like you said, it's not big, it's not tall, it's not really going to keep anything out, but that they're maintaining them.
Tens of millions of dollars a year to
and they're out
maintain
in the middle of,
this.
like, look at them. That's literally just through the desert where no one goes.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of rabbits there, Campbell.
Oh,
So
you see them all. Look at them all piled up
I
against,
know.
trying to get through.
Yeah, eating all that amazing grass that's
Oh, yeah,
there.
look at the feed for them.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, guys. Like, we all know that this is out there, but far out. Now, I mean, let's just scroll down because this leads on to this excellent concept of like all these places in Australia that's off limits. Now, right here, see that? That whole section is a prohibited area.
No way. That's
Now, to put it into context, that is literally the size of England.
yeah, it would be, yeah, easy. Oh, well, the UK almost, I would say.
The whole of the UK.
Yeah, the
That,
UK.
and
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
And they say it's for aerospace, rocket space research.
Well, we know
But
that's not true then, don't we?
I mean, to like any other country in the world have a space as big as the entire continent of the UK for rocket research? I don't think so.
No. No,
So
and
they,
I mean, there's lots of weird stuff in the middle there as well, isn't there? There's what's the big base called?
yeah, there's well, this is the one that is on that area, the Woomera prohibited area, Australia. This is and this takes up a tiny amount. Like this is a fraction of space compared to the whole size of England.
Is that a mine of some kind? Or
This
is that
is a
rocket research, is it?
rocket
Oh, so they're supposed to be launch
research.
pads or something. Oh, okay.
Rocket research.
Rocket research. That's where Elon hides out.
So that's there. That's in that area. And now look. All right. So it says between 1956 and 1963, a part of the area was rented out to Great Britain for nuclear testing. Oh, that's nice of them. All right. So this is the Stewart Highway. So to cross over Australia, you have to go on this highway. It's 1700 k's long, and you cannot deviate from the highway for any reason whatsoever. And these signs are all the way along it. So you cannot get off this road.
Crazy. I mean, what are they again? Like, what are they protecting?
Yeah.
The vacant desert.
So it's really interesting because alongside this road.
Pine Gap, that's the one I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking Pine Gap, yeah. So alongside this road that we're allowed to travel on are all these ancient roads, ancient straight lines, right? That run beside it.
Very Nazca lines, aren't they?
Yes. And then there's Pine Gap, of course, another no-fly zone, no-go zone, off limits. Everyone knows about Pine Gap. So, and look at these lines that are coming off Pine Gap. And there's like, no one's really been given a good explanation as to what Pine Gap is, but obviously it's a very big underground facility. I mean, you know, like it does concentrate in South Australia. So look.
Oh, wow.
So all those red areas are completely prohibited. Off limits. You cannot go there. It's completely prohibited. And then the yellow ones, you possibly might be able to go there, but there's a lot of rules. I mean, that's a lot of territory.
Yeah, yeah. And then the green in Queensland.
So the green is okay. They're national parks and you can go there sometimes.
If you want to go missing.
Yeah, so look at South Australia. I mean, like, hello, South Australia, you are concentrated, man. Like a good half of that state's prohibited to be anywhere near.
It's interesting that they line up with the borders too. Like those prohibited zones don't go over the border. That's very interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's really strange. So, like, I mean, and look at Tasmania.
Oh wow, yeah, the whole west coast, man. Wow.
I mean, that is quite astonishing shit, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man. Had no idea.
I had no idea either. So basically, you're not allowed to fly anything or drones over anything red. Everything yellow, you have to submit to rules. Anything yellow, right? So you may or may not be. You have to fill out a whole heap of stuff if you want to. Blah blah blah. Certainly, you don't have freedom just to do it.
And then there's actual places that you can't go with the crosses on them, like the
Yeah.
little blue. Is that Perth Airport? Can you not? What does that mean? See, over in WA, it's not Perth. It's a bit too high, but it's got an airport that you can't go to.
Yeah, it says not prohibited, not permitted.
Not permitted in national parks. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, like those straight lines we didn't create. Look at so that's the track, that's our road, that grey one. Everything else is just, what is that?
Wonder if they line up with song lines or anything like that.
Most likely.
Mm.
All right, Heard Island. Heard Island is an external territory of Australia between Madagascar and the Antarctic.
What?
The island is uninhabited. That's because you aren't allowed to go there without permission of the Australian government.
What?
So, how do you get to Heard Island? All persons who plan to visit the reserve are required to complete the permit application form, submit via email, blah, 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 blah. So, you basically cannot get there. But it has its own internet domain. And and the internet domain, what was he saying here? It ends with HM as opposed to AU for Australia. So that's bizarre.
HM, I wonder. Her Majesty or something like that.
Yep. So it's
It
forbidden.
would have to be close to Antarctica, right? Like if it's between Australia and Madagascar, it would be definitely in the ballpark of Antarctica. That's got something. Because I was thinking as well, when you were showing the pictures of Pine Gap, there's a lot of like dishes, like radar dishes and communications equipment in Australia, isn't there? Like a lot. I wonder if it's pointing south, right? Who are they communicating with? Because we know it's, they're not breeding space.
Yeah, I mean, Anyway, their big excuses are that it's forbidden because it's for military or environmental. In the case of Heard Island, it's claimed that it's for environmental protection. That permits are not given unless for government-run science projects. Whatever. Anyway, there's a whole pile of islands around Australia. Too numerous to list here, he says. Too numerous to list here that are prohibited for either military or scientific investigation.
Yep. And like I was saying, when you turn into a globe, it's pretty easy to snip out all the islands, right? So we wouldn't even know they're there.
Yep. Too numerous to list. Too numerous to
list.
list.
Also why they have shipping routes and shipping lanes and that. Ships only can go in a certain place as well.
Yep.
They can make everyone, and the planes, they can make everyone dodge if there's extra land out there. We just wouldn't know.
Now, the national parks here in Australia are really interesting. I've had lots of experience with national parks, and they're literally huge areas of natural reserve. That's basically, there are areas you're allowed to go and do your little bushwalk and see a waterfall, and they might be able to camp out. But on the whole, any given moment, they can cut off access to whole national parks. Full on. And it takes up a huge amount of space in Australia. And in like so many of these national parks, people are banned, tourists are banned, photography's banned, you can't get in there. And that's like a lot of Australia, a lot. So it's just, I mean, there's just a whole pile of weird and wacky stuff going on in Australia that we've never even talked about. And this is, back to the original photo. That is a straight line that we did not make. And it looks so flat. What caused it to be so flat?
I know, right? Look at that. It's like a tabletop, just up and then flat. That's crazy. But it definitely looks like something's ripped off there, like it's been ripped apart, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's so bizarre because it's so flat. I mean, I've always I've always whinged about Australia for this, that it's so freaking flat. Like you've got the Great Dividing Range and you've got a bit of a mountainous vibe, but most of Australia is flat like a pancake, and it's boring for that reason, you know. Like that's why traveling around is exotic and fun. But like, man, that's like so. Like, look at that. Is there anything worth hiding there? Like it's friggin' flat. There's nothing going on. Yes, it's a straight road, but they could just dismiss that as that they made it. Like, what would be the purpose of not allowing people to fly there? Is it because there's some electromagnetic process? Is there some, you know, something happening invisible to our eye? Is there something like that going on? Like, what is the reason that this would be a no-fly zone and completely banned? I mean, literally, if you're caught flying over this or taking photos, you're in jail.
Yeah. I mean, there could just be stopping people seeing, you know, petroglyphs and lines and questioning and want to get out and research, right? Because it would very quickly, you know, their narrative would fall apart very quickly, right? That basically, I mean, and you think of Australia, you know, that we all know what happened when, you know, the British got here and claimed it for their own, and they declassified, I guess, the originals as not even being human and all this stuff. So if it comes out that they actually had an you know, much more advanced culture than we're told, then that might change the whole law thing, that their whole, you know, claim, you know. So there's probably a lot more going on, but also the history, right? Who knows? It might, you know, what if those lines pointed out and went underground to Antarctica or something? You know, like, there's just a lot. It would just raise a lot of questions, which is why I think that's one of the reasons they got rid of the airships. Is, you know, because if you're going slow and low, you can see what's on the ground beneath you, right? And there's clearly a lot of stuff that they don't want us to see.
Yeah, I know. Like this picture here. That's our highway. That's the one you're allowed on, but you're not allowed to deviate from. And those two lines beside it, we didn't build those.
And you probably wouldn't even see them from the road or notice them. But
yeah,
I mean, yeah, look at that right angle.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's again. That's again.
That cliff, man.
Coast of the Nullarbor. Yeah. I mean, just like,
I mean,
what happened here?
In that cliff, there could be remains of buildings and stuff, or bricks. You know, you see a lot of these pictures everywhere and the melted stuff. So there's probably just too much that they can't cover up. So they're like, well, no one can go there then.
But look at that landscape. It's fucked. What is that? What is this? It's just nothingness.
Nothing, yeah. It's just desert.
It's the nothing. It's the nothingness from the never-ending story.
The void, man.
There you go. There's the National Reserve System. All of that. You know, they can just cut off in a second.
And it's interesting for anyone not in Australia, like most of those, again, are in the middle of the desert. It's not like there's any forest there or anything. There might be a, you know, a waterfall, but it's not like the national forests like you find in other countries where they're the best kind of nature. Like in Australia, it's just, you know, country-sized pieces of desert.
These are the old maps.
I don't know if I've seen that one with that big squiggly Antarctica before. That's an interesting
1530 map.
Looking a lot more like the Monty map, you know, with the one that's got all the continents around us as Antarctica.
There's
but
another.
These are all 1500s. There you go. That one's one without Australia.
Yeah.
Australia is literally part of that landmass.
Yep.
And this one, yes, that's Australia. That green thing at the bottom. And that's the one where you can see like a camel there. I can see a camel.
There's all sorts of strange things.
Yeah, there's frill-neck lizards. I'm pretty sure there's a kangaroo in there.
Yeah, because when Campbell and I were looking at Tartaria in Melbourne, some of the oldest buildings we could find, some of the statue work actually included like platypuses and kangaroos, the old realm knew of our creatures.
Yeah.
Like they were in there. There's another one.
Just crazy, right? And they've got us thinking that it's just this small little continent at the bottom of a ball. Well, some of us. Clearly, there's a lot more going on out there, outer lands. Yeah, that's what I was looking for when you were showing it. Is like holes and things in the cliff. Is that the bite or what's that?
This is in Sydney.
Oh, that's just the Sydney Heads. Yeah. I think the Tartarian truthers The girls did a show on that, actually, showing different stuff out there.
How are they going, those lovely ladies? Call out to Tartarian truthers.
Yes, hello, girls. Yes, I saw they put out something a little while ago, but I haven't seen heaps. So time for a new video, girls.
Well, that was pretty fascinating, like to look at Australia from those lenses. Really, really interesting. But like to end part one of this show, because you have a guest that's just turned up. I'm going to end on this fascinating classic Australian clip from a woman, just to show, like, to add to that map and that concept of forbidden places and how policed we really are. Let's have a look at what's actually happening in the more gossipy lands of Australia's actual experience. I haven't even shown you this one, Campbell, but it's worth. Here you go. Part one here in Australia.
So I have a story about Coles new.
Oh wait, you can't hear that, can you? Hang on. I forgot to press the button. Got to remember to press that little sound button. All right, so Australia, the police state,
We're supposed to.
I know, no, the police state, Australia, the break off from Antarctica, the land of all the mysterious animals, and potentially why our Indigenous is so important, because potentially they were the ones that came from the outer realms and broke off with the split. So let's have, anyway, but to keep it real, to bring it back to, you know, our actual 2024 reality, check out what's happening in the supermarkets in Australia. This is fucked.
I was at Coles the other day. I wasn't in the self-service checkout. So my particular Coles, they have glass fencing all along the front, gates that have to open to allow you to go into actual Coles. And then at the self-service area, they've now installed gates that allow you out if they determine that you've paid for your food. There's also cameras above the self-service checkouts, cameras all through the store. So on this day, I had just gone in for a couple of things and I went to a human because the self-service checkout was packed. So I went to a human cashier and went through that way. I just finished paying for my groceries and I went to push my trolley away. And at the same time that I'm pushing my trolley away from the checkout, the alarms in the self-service area start buzzing and there's lights flashing and the gates are flashing red. They wouldn't let anybody out. And my trolley made this weird buzz and then stopped working. Like I couldn't push it. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I'm still trying to push my trolley thinking that the wheel got jammed or something, because you know that happens all the time with those trolleys. I'm pushing it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look back and the lady's like, oh, you'll just have to wait. And I didn't think she was talking to me, so I'm still trying to push it. She's like, yeah, you'll just have to wait. It's to prevent theft. I'm like, prevent theft of what? I've just paid you. And she's like, oh, because the self-service areas alarms are going off at the moment, the trolleys are disabled. What? The trolleys get disabled now? So I had to stand there and wait for this lady from the self-service checkout to come over once whatever was going on in there had finished. She had this machine that she pointed at the wheel of my trolley to enable it again so I could leave the fucking store. So even though I wasn't in the self-service checkout area, I was still affected by what was fucking going on in there and couldn't leave Coles. There was no gates preventing me, just the trolley full of food that I just paid for. I couldn't leave until somebody enabled my trolley.
Oh my God.
No way.
Like, hello. This has not even been rolled out in any other country. This is like Australian specific. Holy shit, man. That's like a whole new level, right?
Yeah, man, it's like in China where they're turning the electric bikes off like as soon as your credit runs out and people are having stacks on it. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Like, you know, it's been said for a long time, right? You vote with your money. Like, let's not support, because Woolworths, our other big store, came out. A big story in the last week is that they've been buying, because we all know about food prices going up and like meat is crazy expensive in Australia.
Oh, this is bullshit. Yes.
The farmers $4 a kilo and selling the meat for $34 a kilo. Like, So it's got
Welcome.
nothing to do with supply chains, got nothing to do with anything but greed. So, you know,
Yeah.
our
Welcome
only
to my day
response,
job.
yeah, man,
Yep.
our only response has got to be just don't fund them. And
Yeah,
actually, I'll put a link below if you're in Australia. I did find it. There's a like a site that you can put in, and you put your postcode in, it'll tell you all the farmers close to you that you can just go and buy stuff straight from, and just cut out the middleman, right? Start really supporting our farmers, you know.
I tell you what, that one. So
That's-
yeah, so did you guys all hear that really clearly? The meat they are buying for $4 and they're selling it back to you for $35, and the farmers are getting $4. And there is not there's no friggin' issue with supply. There's no issue with demand. There's no issue with beautiful meat. It's just the distribution points basically run by BlackRock. I think Woolworths is a subsidy of which group was it? Anyway, it all goes back to the same people, but talk about this is how they create like a recession, a depression, a collapse in the economy. Like all of this is just fucking bullshit. So look, I mean, ultimately it's up to you guys. Keep going there and spending your money at those places, or seek out your local farmer, or seek out your farmers market, whatever. Like there's no way you should be knowing this information, not attempting to counteract it with localized shopping. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Then if you can get it straight from the farmer, you'll probably be only paying that $4, right? Like how much, and then you'll have more money to live. But that's what they're doing. They're trying to drain everyone's resources, right? At the same time, housing is going up, so they're literally trying to wipe out, you know, the middle class, right? So there's just the elites and the poor. So, you know, this really can only work if we all go along with it. You know, as always, right? We've always got a choice. So choose well.
Oh, that's like friggin' hell, man. All right. So end of part 1. We'll be back with part 2.
All righty.
All right. We had a little break there, Campbell.
We're back. We've been swimming at the river. It's been like a day.
Ah, yeah.
Technology, man.
Yeah, we were at the river, so I'm in my afternoon vibe. We actually have never done a podcast this late into the summery 38-degree afternoon. So
Oh, it
I
is
will
quite
most likely
strong.
have a cigarette and get a cold drink.
It's 6:30. It's time.
All right. Check out what Campbell and I have built this week. This is our very own ice bath on the farm. Look at that. We built the platform and built it into my little outdoor office entertainment area. Yeah, hand built by us. Thanks.
We
Thanks,
didn't
Campbell.
actually build the freezer. We that got good board, but we built the rest.
Yeah.
And it was
So
amazing.
it's cute. And look, it's got the veggie gardens behind it. So I can't really show you. Anyway, we planted some vines just this way. There. Some creepers to go up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
gosh.
There you go.
All
We're
right.
just talking about Australia, you know, for all those people that this is just seconds after we were doing that. To us, it's days.
Uh-oh. I just did that.
Oh my God. Illuminati
Rewind.
confirmed.
I
Illuminati
was just like, I
confirmed.
was in my head, I was like, I gotta do it, but like I did it, and I'm like, fuck, better make note of that. You're all gonna yeah, no, what were we saying? I'm just throwing
We were
myself
saying,
off.
yeah, we were talking about the price gouging and the trolleys that's stopping themselves and how they're really starting to, you know, police, you know, the supermarkets.
Yeah,
We've all
so
seen
bad.
pictures of food, you know, locked up and with, you know, bolts and padlocks and stuff on meat. So pretty crazy. And I did
Yeah,
find,
like
I don't know if I mentioned it, but I found a site on Facebook where you can directly contact your local farmers. Just put your postcode in and it tells you who's around you.
that's right.
So, you know, maybe do a search for that, guys, and just go straight to the source, right? And pay your $4 instead of $34.
Yeah, that's the meme that's been going around. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously this is what I work in, and yep. So I can say, yep.
There you go.
This is going across all the meat industry, all of the dairy industry. They've been the two main targeted industries through all this climate change jargon that's been going on. they have been the two targeted ones. It's actually dairy and meat. So here in Australia,
Yeah.
anyway.
At the same time that they're pushing bugs and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're telling
Yeah.
us that, you know, cow farts are going to make the world explode. This is what they're doing.
So, and it's interesting that we bring it up because obviously like a big part of the prophecies and all the predictions going on is like the supply chain will be impacted. And that's what we've been told since COVID. The supply chain's been impacted. Everything's got more expensive. Just take it on board, take it on board. But actually what's really happening is just shit like this. Like, the supply chain, the demand, like this is Woolworths and Coles independent of anything else. There is still at least 80,000 farms in Australia. Did you know, Campbell, that of the land in Australia, like it's some crazy number, like in between 60 and 70% of all land in Australia is actually custodianed by farmers.
Wow.
So, when they tell you
shortage. Yeah.
exactly, when they tell you that we've got issues with food in Australia and it's going to cost you more and more and more, it's not because of lack of farmers.
No, and they're starting to push the narrative that it's, the ships, all the stuff going internationally is going to get stopped. But that shouldn't really affect Australia, right? Like we create enough food clearly for the population. So it's all a scam. It's like in the 70s. Remember they had the oil crisis and they put petrol, like tripled or quadrupled in price.
Yeah.
And then 50 years later, there's still enough. There's, 5 times as many cars and no issues. So it's all a scam.
It's a total scam. Literally, there's 80,000 farming households in Australia. That is a lot, and literally, they could feed Australia 10 million times over.
Yeah, man.
Which is why our community is so excellent, because we go and shop at our community farmers markets and local, community gardens, and that's just basically all have a from our little community, because otherwise you're going to be impacted by that sort of bullshit, right?
Yes. You just froze. I guess you're saying grow your own, basically, but you froze for a minute. That's okay.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I went on a rant. You all missed the best rant ever then. Sorry. I went on a good Kelly rant. No, I mean, I was just basically saying that, what's so cool about, our communities is that we will prioritize going to farmers markets and community gardens or grow our own. And to do that, we managed to skip over all of that bullshit that we just saw with the prices. So, yeah, I mean, heads up to our community all around the world and all communities like our communities all around the world, because it's all going up from here on that sort of level, like you've been eating organics for ages now. You've been not consuming fluoride for ages now. You haven't been watching TV for ages now. You haven't done the jab, all that shit, man. You've been taking care of your sovereign needs and health, and that's a good place to be right now.
Yep. Especially, there's lots of predictions and thoughts on what's going to happen this year, and I'm sure a lot's going to happen. But whatever it is, we don't know exactly. But if you can look after yourself, then that's a lot less to worry about, right? So get on the bandwagon, right? Get self-sufficient.
Oh man, I don't know why we would even need to talk about it to our communities. Like, I mean, everyone's that's the most obvious stuff. Like, but it's good to hey dudes, like we're all like this one big amazing consciousness that is doing some good stuff, even while this world is so freaking weird. And it is weird.
It's weird. The weird world. So yeah, so the basis of that is to find like-minded people, right, and build communities.
Which is hard, Campbell.
Which is hard.
You can't just say that as
get in touch with the people, with your tribe, right? We might have something coming up to help with people in a certain region.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. So the March the 15th, 16th, and 17th, Campbell and I are going to Mullaney, and we are going to have a campfire for the weekend. Which we are. It's going to be. I don't know what you just whispered then. What did you mutter?
I said maybe the whole weekend. We'll have the fire at night probably, and then we might let it go out. But who knows? Maybe we'll keep it burning like the eternal flame.
Well, we don't even know if there's a fire ban yet. We'll see how we go.
We might have nothing. We might sit around tea candles. We don't know.
Yeah, which is quite nice. So basically we're heading down to Mullaney. We've got a full day show on the Saturday. and that's at the community hall opposite the pub, and it's going to be just basically our weird world update. We're going to bring the weird world update to a show and do it for 8 hours and go through all the weird stuff that's happening now, today, this week, last week, now, and bring it all together.
Yeah, and there's campgrounds there, so you can come up and hang out for a few nights. There will be a surprise on Friday night if you're there, and on Saturday night after the show, we want to have a big campfire and sit around and talk and discuss, and it's going to be a bit more casual with lots of time to mingle, have Q&A so you can ask questions and based more on community, right? More casual, live and unplugged, right? The weird world, live and unplugged, with much audience participation. And
we've been wanting to do an outdoor event for ages. We keep waiting for a cool music festival to invite us to speak, but they're just not at the Tartaria. But obviously this is our lifestyle, so we want to be outside. We want to have some outdoor events. We want to do it the way we do it at home, which is to get the campfire out and a few drinks and have a wonderful evening under the stars. So
and sing some Kumbaya. Remember that one? We'll rock it.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. I love that song.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so
hey, if anyone's wondering, it's Come By Me, my lord. There you go.
Kumbaya. It's not Kumbaya.
Well, that's what Kumbaya means. Come
by me. We could have done Come By Me. Come by me, my lord. We're doing the same thing. Why would you do that? Why would you? Is it a different language?
I think so. It sounds so exotic, right? And people think they're very, very intelligent when they sing it because it's like a different language.
Kumbaya. No, it just feels like a gentle little cotton wool bud lullaby.
That's what I was told. See, I wonder if I'm probably going to get lots of comments saying I'm wrong and it doesn't mean Come By Me, but that's what I was told, and hey, I'm going with it.
Well, I think everyone at this very moment watching the show would like to know the truth on that one. So you might as well, anyone who knows, put it through the comments. So anyway, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a camp out Friday night. Because Mullane's in sort of a quirky location, like it's a bit of a drive from Brisbane. I think the venue's about almost 2 hours drive from Brisbane, and it's another 40 minutes to get to Maroochydore and sort of that Sunshine Coast area. So we thought, fuck yeah, let's go to the showground. We've got some amazing team on the ground in Mullane making this all happen. And they've gone and sussed it all out in the showgrounds. And so we think we're going to invite everyone to come up in their vans, in their cars, grab their little tents and, get your little $20 tent from Aldi. We're only going to be there for 2 nights. Your swag, whatever, or stay in the hotels. There's not many. There's a couple of Airbnbs, but hey, man, this showgrounds is basically free, and it is free, I'm assuming.
Kids, man.
Yeah. And we'll if we can have a campfire, we're going to definitely have a campfire a Friday and Saturday night. If we can't, then we're going to pretend there's a campfire. Maybe we'll build some beautiful little natural, natural artwork centerpiece.
Yeah, well, we can just get some people to dress up in orange and red and they can dance and we'll all sit around.
I used to do that, Campbell, when I was Osho.
Not surprised for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, Osho was all orange and dancing.
Yes, the Orange People days.
Yeah, and that's cool. I know you're jealous. I know you're thinking, I wish I'd gotten in on that.
Was that
for a week?
Trump worship? Is that what was going on?
Well, anyway, we would like to hang out with you around the campfire. Actually, chill out. Just be ourselves. Be yourselves. No pressure. And lots of just talking and whatever. A few spliffs and the stars, and we can examine what's going on above us and below us and all around us, and just keep the conversation going. Friday night we are having doing something. We're just gonna have it. I'm gonna say it. Can we say a surprise? It's just too much. Because if you said a surprise to me, I'd be like, oh, fucking excellent. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna expect something.
If you're gonna tell them, then we should ask for recommendations.
we're gonna bring our outdoor cinema and see if we can at the showgrounds put up a outdoor cinema experience for anyone who's choosing to come and camp for the whole weekend and spend Friday night with us. We thought we'd like just, you know, bring your camp chairs and put on the outdoor movie. Because of course I used to run an outdoor cinema called Cooler Type Bush Cinema. And it was cool once a month. That's how I built my community. I put a cinema. This is a good golden nugget for anyone in these situations. I didn't know anyone, and I built a stage with my friends, and then we put an outdoor cinema on. And then I just basically put 12 movies. Once a month, I had a documentary on. And yeah, it was amazing. The sort of people would come out of the woodwork that would come and see the documentary about the Queen of England being a draconian lizard, or you know, what the go was with all these GMOs, you know, like whatever. We had some really good times. And though the movies didn't always get watched through because there was so much good conversation going on, I certainly built a terrific community out there. And yeah, the cinema is a cool experience. So
and we are wondering what should we put on. So if you've got any good suggestions, leave them in the comments. We'll have a look. You know,
it's a tough one,
movie or
Campbell.
doco, but I know, right? There's going to be a billion, but maybe there'll be some gems that we've forgotten about that'll prick our minds.
I mean, what do you guys think? Would you rather watch a movie? And then I have to say, they're hard to come by these days. It's hard to find a movie that we haven't, that's fresh and we haven't all seen 10 times. That like, it's hard. It's hard work. Or we could find some kick-ass
We
rock
could watch
and
some
roll.
YouTube. There's this really good channel. What's it called? Auto something.
Get up to date with the old man, the old man of Tartaria.
I've even got a great beard now. Look at this, eh? Well, beard ling. It's not. That's almost a month's growth, I think.
Yep.
Jeez,
He's
man, could be
skanky.
worse, right? I could have to buy razors.
Yeah, just because he's
Thank you.
homeless. Just because he's
Thank you.
homeless, it all starts
Thank
to
you.
fall apart.
Exactly. Amount of homeless, it's all, yeah.
I kind of, you know, there's some, obviously we could also obviously you guys tell us, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a movie? Would you prefer a documentary? Or would you prefer us to get in contact with some excellent like dudes and gals from around and
that's an interesting thought.
chuck on some, I don't know, whatever, some stuff from our friends from around the world. There's a lot going on.
Idea. No, we could ask people to just send us, just rant for 15 minutes and then we'll put it all together.
That's right. Say whatever you want.
Send us a rant. Who would you like to hear a rant from, people?
Actually, we're going to see if Dal wants to come up. And look, you know, I'd fucking love to actually get the Tartarian truthers on with us finally. I don't know where they are. They are in gypsy van bus girls. They do roam around. It's very possible. We'll ask the Tartarian truthers, see if they want to come.
Yeah. If you see this, send us an email. There'll be an email address below. And there'll also be a link for the, what is it? Weird World Update Live and Unplugged in, where is it?
Mulaney. Jeez, I don't know why you guys trust him to know anything about the world. I'll tell you what, in one ear, out the other.
Oh, God. I'm not in details.
No, Mulaney.
Oh, I'm good.
Sunshine Coast, Mulaney. Sunshine Coast, Mulaney. Bring your instruments. Bring your wine. Bring your camp chair. Nice. You know, like, and let's just have a really nice time. I mean, God knows what this world's going to end up looking like by the end of this year. Like, every opportunity we get to hang out for the brief weekend, a brief moment in time, just to be like, you're not alone, it's all good. Yep, hug, kiss, happy, you know, like, it's like to just get, like, keep everyone's you know, vibe up, and you know, these sort of moments, like, grab them while they're available is what I say right now.
And perfect, you know, like we said, it's a perfect, you know, opportunity to meet like-minded people, as they say, right? You know, meet your tribe. Everyone will be, you know, from around a, you know, a similar area. And yeah,
oh my God,
we'll have time to make some real friendships, because it's not just going to be a day with us talking.
I've got the best idea.
It's going to be interactive with everyone. What's the best idea?
Pick me. I know, I just totally interrupted you. Why don't we have on the Saturday night like a round of speed dating?
Singles, are you into that?
Well, it doesn't have to be speed dating.
Oh, like speed dating for friends, like buddy.
Yeah, I mean, look, open to interpretation. It could be speed dating, depending on your circumstances. If not, like, just a quick way of going around and getting to know each other.
Everyone, yeah, that could be a good intro thing. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. I think we should have something fun like that. I think it'd be really great to. And so, what do you do? What do you get? Like 3 minutes with each 3 minutes, and you got to move.
Yep.
In our case, it'll be moving. I guess you just pick up your camp chair and just move a meter around.
Probably.
Anyway, just thoughts. And on that note, so the tickets will be available. If not this week, if not by this podcast, the next one, I promise. And yeah, I think what did we end up? We said $77 for the entire weekend.
Yes.
So that includes Friday night, the whole show on Saturday, and Saturday night. So that's three gigs, three things, three marvelous things. And
it's cheap. You can stay in a tent at the campgrounds, as long as you get there. Like we said, there are Airbnbs if you're into the more luxurious lifestyle, but cheap weekend with cool people.
Yeah.
Enjoying
Excellent. It. Yeah, cool. All right. And then, of course, that'll lead us on to, because we have hardly spoken about this. I think we've mentioned this once in the whole time.
Oh,
so
yes. Where else are we going, Kelly?
I know, isn't it? So let us be a living example to everyone right now, because really at this point in 2024, you can like really fucking be freaking out about the state of the world, and you would be fair to do that. You could be really nervous about what's coming or what's not coming, or like, there's so many reasons to like basically be freaked a bit and to want to sort of like burrow into the ground, which by the way is an excellent idea when the time comes, but burrow into the ground. So Campbell and I, on the other hand, are going to be an example of keep like living our dreams and just going forward into whatever future we want to create for ourselves. And for us, that involves travel. And so we are going forward with that space, trusting, of course, that if it was not an appropriate move when the time comes, that we would know. And that we are in charge of our destinies, and we are in charge of our own, innate guidance system, and we would know. And until we know to do something very specifically, we're going to keep moving forward with the things that we think are super fun and interesting. And I want to grab every precious moment right now. I want to grab it, Campbell, and I want to hold it tight, and I want to say yes without thinking about things. And I just want to move into explosive, quick action. And then I think that's what this whole year is about: explosive, quick action.
yeah, man. Responsibility, right? Responsibility, like your ability to respond. And so what we're doing is we're going to Tartaria. We've got a tour. Hang on, if I'm really tricky here, I can even share the screen.
Oh, he's pretty tricky.
I'm pretty tricky.
And I'm a bogan, so I'm going to roll a cigarette because it's like the afternoon. We've just been swimming.
See, man, that's cartoon. Tricky and the Bogan. Tricky and the Bogan. There you go. Old Worlds Tours. We are going to finish it at the Bosnian Pyramid with Dr. Sam Osmanovic, who's basically the foremost expert on pyramids in general around the world, and he's the discoverer of the Bosnian Pyramid. He's run all the tests and all that kind of stuff. It's 17 days. And here's the itinerary. The address is Old Worlds Tours, like Old Worlds with an S, tours.com. And you can see the whole itinerary here. We're going, it's really an amazing trip. We're going to see star forts. It's the star fort. We're going.
Like real star forts, Campbell.
Star forts, man.
We're not going to be looking at pictures. We're going to be in them.
Pictures, boots on the ground.
We're going to lick them. We're going to touch them.
Yep. Domes, castles. We're going to the fort where they filmed Game of Thrones. We'll be on the
What
Baltic.
do you mean? Wait. What do you mean to the fort that they filmed Game of Thrones?
We are going to the fort. It's an old world castle.
Go up.
Did I miss it? Where is it? I don't know.
Stop. What's that?
Bosnian pyramids.
Down. No, up. That. What's that amazing looking bazaar?
In front of me. This is the Miosta Bazaar. So there'll be shopping, and I have heard there's actually like traditional tradesmen out there, like cobblers who still make shoes and tailors that make clothes and pipe makers that
Oh
make
my God.
pipes and
It
all that
sounds
kind
like a
of stuff.
fairy tale.
And in old world cities, as you can see, we've got paved streets, you know, all the cool little lanes and that. They're all walled cities, and we can explore. You know, all, you know, very old world stuff. You know, Tartaria basically, and including, like we said, Star Forts, castles, the one that they use in Game
Wait,
of
pause,
Thrones.
pause. You are going through this
I'm going
like
way
you're
too
fucking
fast.
taking a line of speed, man. Like, just pause for a second, because I've got some questions.
Okay,
Right? All right.
ask away.
So, okay. So obviously the people that have been working with primarily Campbell, but I'll say us, to organize this are fucking excellent. They are so smart and so beautiful. They're total Tartarian hunters, and they are locals to this area. So that's why this tour is happening, because we have met some beautiful locals and the tour itself, it's not just like, like something you'd find at a travel agent. This tour is actually flowing through people in our community, through Tartarian hunters who are localized to Bosnia, to Serbia, to Croatia, who are taking us to the most beautiful spots and are showing us like things that you would never normally see just by visiting as a tourist. In fact, when we were talking about food, like putting some food on the bus, everyone's always got, because we're going to be doing this with a bus, our own private bus. We were like, our beautiful host, I'll call her our host.
Tara, big shout out to
Tara,
Tara.
our beautiful host Tara. She was like, there's no need, because every 2 hours we'll be passing like through this medieval amazing town or village or city, and there's just so many beautiful things to try and explore. So we literally have the ability to shape the tour as we're going, and we're going to be literally like weaving our way through the most gorgeous spaces and places, and plenty of time to walk down those cobblestones streets, and to like sit at a cafe and try something that you've never experienced before. So I just wanted to take it down nuts. This is like stepping into the world of Hans Christian Andersen with like amazing people who are super smart, and like we're going to have a really fantastic time.
We are, and there's, like you said, there's going to be, like, it's not all going to be Tartaria. That we're going to be staying at Jandala to start with, which is an art built by artists, a big retreat. We're going to be swimming in the Tara River. We're going to be on,
the Tiger River,
the Danube as well, I think, and seeing
wait
some
a minute,
rainforests.
pause. Campbell, tell me, is it the Tiger River? Is it, how do you spell it?
No, it's the Danube River, and I think it's the Tara. I know there's Tara something. I think it's Tara Forest.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to be also on the Baltic Sea, and it's going to be summertime, so there's going to be, like a lot of, rest as well, and it's not just going to be rush, and it's going to be amazing. Like, we have got myself and Kelly are going, obviously, and Michelle Gibson is going to be coming along as well. So if you've seen Michelle's work, she's done a lot of amazing work in the old world, shall we say. So my computer's binging and popping at me, and my mouse has just stopped working.
And of course, we hear rumors Dale Holmes is coming.
Yes, Dale. Have you bought your ticket yet? And then we've also got, of course, Tara will be there, and we have two other people coming, Kiki and Kamai. And they are basically, Kiki knows all about sacred geometry and architecture and how it all interacts. And Kamai basically sings, does a lot of singing with nature. So it's going to be a full interactive, and we're staying in, the cool little hotels that are owned by normal people. There's not going to be any Hiltons. There's not going to be any chains. It's all going to be, so it's basically the kind of tour that you won't get anywhere else. And the best bit is all the advertising is done through this channel. So the people who are going to be there are your people, right? Everyone is going to be on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
We'll be able to have the best conversations, and it's just for our audience. It's not for any, it's not being advertised anywhere else.
Keep scrolling down and show us more pictures, Campbell. Show us some pictures, Campbell.
Okay, so this is the, oh gosh, I can hardly read even with my glasses. Shemansky Fat Love, I'm not even going to read. Oh my God, my computer's
Useless.
freaking
We're going
out
to
on
be
me.
useless tour guides, but we will have a lot of
Useless.
fun.
We'll have lots to say, and Tara will
Look at
point us
that.
in the right direction. But yeah, check out this star fort. Like, just amazing. That is the Petrovado Fortress. I probably just butchered that.
I love that
This
forest.
is Ritangi, is it? Forest. So some old world forest, like bridges here. It's just going to be amazing. But like, it's definitely a lot of old world stuff. Like, we're going to a monastery that's built into a cliff, like one of those, those buildings that you see that look like they've been chiseled out of the side of a mountain. We're going to one of those. So really cool stuff, but also, heaps of time to connect with your tribe, hang out in nature. So it's going to be amazing. So if you want the whole itinerary, it's all here, Old World Tours with an S.com. And we'll leave a link below if you want to grab some tickets, because we do have about 10 left, I think. And
I know.
And it's about 3 months to go. So, yeah.
We're almost sold out. So this didn't get promoted. We wanted to keep it quiet.
Yeah,
Just,
pretty much.
for obvious reasons. But for our community, yeah, there's already 30 or so people in attendance. So we've got 20 more tickets. It's going to be a nice, if we sell out, it'll be about 50 people all up. We've got a beautiful bus that's been like going to take us around. So which will all be just in our flow. So it'll just be dropping, doing whatever we want to do and moving through that. So we've got a bus for the whole time. And basically, you just like get your plane tickets and then we pick you up from the airport and off we go on our adventure.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty fun and radical. So
amazing. Yeah, we'll pick you up from the airport and drop you back off. So just all you need is your ticket and your air tickets, and you're good to go. Maybe some insurance might be a good idea, but apart from that, you're good to go.
And I just think, guys, like seriously, honestly, like we've got such a edgy world going on right now. It's edgy out there, and like we might not always for much longer get a chance to enjoy air travel. I mean, that's definitely on the radar of weird shit that's going on in the world, with these like little pulses happening with the sun intensifying and its focus getting stronger and its heat getting stronger and the weather patterns changing and the atmospheric I guess pressures changing, and like it will eventually end up with affecting our ability to do things like fly around. And I don't know, I just feel like this is the year to grab any concept of you doing anything like this. It would probably be this year.
Yeah, man, see the world before the reset, right? When you're old, you'll be going, I remember before the reset when we had these castles and stuff.
That's right.
Good stories.
I want to be that person.
Right. You want to have good stories, man.
Yeah, I agree. And look, it's from this sort of experience where we grow, isn't it? It's from these experiences that help. It's such beautiful personal development time when you do stuff like this. And yeah, I mean, I think like I personally want to be one of those beings that in the future, can act like a historian for these times in this world and can relay, communicate about, these experiences we've had. And I want to see the parts of the world I've never seen before. I can't see it in its current state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people are a bit nervous about traveling into that direction of the world. There's a little bit of, obviously energy going on in the world with, lots of different wars and things sort of trying to spark off. Like, and that's true. But look, I can tell you guys, coming off India and China, like of all the places in the world, China was the one that this was like, no one was traveling to China for obvious reasons. And I have to say, it was a beautiful trip. It was peaceful. It was quiet. The environment there was stunning. And obviously, you've all heard my insights about China being empty. Like, so, and all that whole time, the Israeli war had like this whole thing with Israel kicked off and all the Israelis had left India when we were in India. So we were there when it was all kicking off. And, honestly, so much of all of this shit goes on the computer and television, like.
It does, man. I went to America at the same time, and got a lot as well. Americans don't go there, blah, blah, blah. But I went there, had a great time, came back, and I'm going again. And if you are thinking of coming, we're going to be in Europe, right? So both Kelly and I, we're going to take a bit more time, because when you're in Europe, people in Australia don't understand this, but you can fly, from country to country, like in half an hour. You can drive across the country in a few hours. So, you can also get your ticket a week earlier and spend a week in Europe, go visit whatever, right? Greece, Italy, Denmark, whatever you want, really. But yeah, if you're interested, go and check it out. Link below.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's going to be a blast. So actually, that's the first time we've really put it on the show and said, all right, game on, it's happening. So
it's true.
Excellent. Game on, it's happening.
Like you said, we've hardly mentioned it. And that's kind of been on purpose. We only want a select audience, is basically, we just want our people there. So, but it will sell out. We've got a couple of months to go. So,
all right, rock and roll. All right, well, let's get back to the show, Campbell, because we got rudely interrupted.
And I guess we could say, because this is going to be going up on the 26th, so happy Australia Day to everyone in Australia.
Yeah, it's our little present to you if you want it. If you want it, come and be present with us.
Yeah, man.
All right, and of course, don't forget the Bosnia period, which you mentioned at the beginning, is pretty epic, and that'll just be fascinating.
That's the biggest part, man. We finish up at the Bosnian pyramid.
And that's the largest pyramid. Is that not the largest pyramid
in the world?
Yeah.
It's got orgone, like energy shooting out the top of it. We're going into the tunnels below, which have like healing effects. A lot of people are getting spontaneous healings and things down there. And like, there's literally, they have tours that just go just to take sick people through these tunnels so they can get healed. So, that's the end of everything else. Once your mind's blown, then you'll see the pyramid and it'll just come out your ears. Your mind, that is, not the pyramid.
Well, who knows what's going to happen? I tell you what, but we will have a lot of people. The whole team will be, really conscious of energy and how it was like. It's going to be like moving around in a big golden bubble, like, and then we're just going to back to Australia.
And float back down.
Yeah. All right. So that's the Bosnia trip and also Milani in March. So there's two things happening that you are all welcome to come and join us on. And all right. So Campbell, this is Australia Day.
This is Australia Day.
You've been up all night putting this show to get it ready, because we've done this in so many different parts. Good on you, man. You did it.
I've still got that ahead of me. Yeah.
So Australia Day. Here we are. So we started the beginning of the show going through like the whole coastline of the Nullarbor that's banned from human consciousness. I mean, I love that they can just do that sort of shit. Like, there's this bit here, they'll never tell about it. So it's like delete. Like it's just like banned. That's it. Ban. And it's just like all over the world. These are
crazy, right? When did we get to the point where we just thought that random people could just say, no, you can't go here. We've decided you can't. Like, man, we dropped the ball, or someone dropped the ball.
And we gave a call out to Jay at the beginning of the show, just talking about his Omens. So I've really been enjoying that. So yeah, if you don't know Jay Dreamers, check that one out. It's really healthy to have a broad perspective on what's going on from around the world via people like us just sending in their actual experiences. So I like that shit.
It is, he's showing what's actually happening, like showing all the footage of all the weirdness, two suns, the red oceans, the flooding, the weirdness in the news articles and news reporting.
Yeah.
Daydreamers.
All right, and then we talked that's right. We ended on the lovely example of our supermarkets turning your trolley off, which I just thought was just, yes, why not? That's hilarious. Take it that far, Cole. Come on, let's see what happens. Go on, do that dance with the Australian public. See if we're that bad, like fucking fuck. Every time I go to Coles or Woolworths now, I'm just like, to the poor checkout tip, your bags are shit. I'm just putting in my formal complaint. And she goes, oh, well, you should just like bring your bags back. And I'm like, yes, that's a good example. But the fact is 90% of people won't remember to do that. And they're going to be left with these crappy bags that are just going to break within a second.
Of the amount of times I've gone to pick up one of those paper bags and it's literally ripped as I've picked it up. It's happened about 5 times, man. And of course, we all know, right? We get home with our paper bag, and what do? We take out everything that's wrapped in plastic out of it. So dumb. So dumb.
So dumb. But I tell you what, it takes quite a bit of space to cut up a cow and put it in your freezer. But it's very satisfying. It's very satisfying to know you've got a freezer full of your own meat or meat. It's cool. It's cool. Like, it's definitely, yeah, do that if you're in Australia. Why wouldn't you? God, look at all the land around us and animals and farmers. Just do it. It's such a
Yeah, you
better
can literally go,
way.
buy a cow or half a cow, and they'll cut it all up into bits, and you just need a freezer, and you'll be paying a lot less than $34 a kilo. Let me tell you.
And also you get all the tallow, so you get all the fat as well, which then you can, the tallow is so good for you, especially with the carnivore diet information. It's just such a good way of cooking fats into your diet. So that's a really big bonus bit of sorting out your own animal. Anyway, we digress, Campbell. Let's go back. So I've got a few. What I wanted to do this show just to, because the thing that we've got access to that is great is our Facebook page for Tartaria Australia. So if you're not on that, jump on that. And it's just got a very active community, and it's really great. And people send in a lot of stuff. So I like to occasionally go through it and and find something. So I'm just gonna turn it on. We're just gonna have a look. All right, can you see? Oh, actually, hang on. Let me just stop sound. I'll do that again.
Oh, that was.
And I'll put the sound on in
grandma,
case I want to
that was the grandma's one you were talking about.
The grandma. Sorry. So I don't know about you guys. Of course, Tamla and I did a whole show on this. We actually, our one on transgenderism was the first time we actually got a YouTube strike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First time. It was my thumbnail.
Strike, and I literally just wrote the word. I think it was weird, man. But yeah.
So anyway, so of course, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like the transgender stuff with Hollywood, it's like my gossip magazine. It's like my Cosmo. It's like that magazine that, like, when you just want some lighthearted, like, hilariousness and just basically gossipy, vibe. Like the transgender Facebook pages are good. So there's a few of them that I'm on.
It's a good one, man. I mean, name those faces. Can you name them? You've been looking at them, but you know them all.
Yeah, I have a daughter who just is like, she buys half the story, like the giant trees, but does not buy the stories about the celebrities. And of course, because 12-year-old and Taylor Swift, like,
man.
Yeah. So anyway, I showed her this picture and said, like, man or woman. She named them all as women.
Did she?
And so here we've got the lead singer of Aerosmith.
Smith, yeah.
We've got The Cure.
Cure.
We have got Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson's the last one, and the one in the bottom.
Was that? I think it's Ozzy Osbourne.
The Osbourne.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson, man, he's looking very old, like very, very headmistress, isn't he?
It's hilarious, isn't it? It just cracks me up.
So there you go. Your 80s heroes, man. They're turning into old women.
Yeah. Then of course,
man.
This is part of the gossip magazine, the celebrity cloning process.
So this is two different actors.
Jamie
Presley and Margaret Robbie,
who's the
Jamie
Aussie.
Presley used to be in, what was it? Earl, what was it? They Call Me Earl, or that Earl stuff?
Oh, yep. I like that too.
Yeah, I liked it too. She was great in that. But this is half her face and half Margot Robbie. And I mean, look at that, right? It looks like the same person.
Yeah, it cracks me up. All good times. Now this is what I wanted to show everyone.
Yes.
This is all right. So I'll just take the audio off. This is cool. See if I can make it big.
Okay, this is a bit creepy. Let me know what you guys think.
You hear it?
So, why does NASA have all these old school cars? My thoughts are, they're cars without computers in them. All from the 1970s. They're preparing for an EMP blast. What's odd is they're not just old school NASA cars. Here's a news car. They have a whole fleet from NASA vehicles, semi-trucks, ambulances. Perhaps this is where that $50 million a day budget is going, because we all know it's certainly not getting us into space. collectors of CGI videos, and apparently old school cars. Let me know what you think they're using them for. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Yeah, man, it's an interesting one.
Okay, this is a big...
Yeah, it's definitely yeah, it's cool.
Apart from just the electronic bit, I mean, you can still work on those cars yourself, you know, that you don't need all these new ones with computers. If a computer goes wrong, you can't fix it. You need, well, not even a mechanic, I don't know what you need, but these old school ones, you just need a few tools, bit of knowledge, and you can work on them yourself.
Yeah, man. Yep. So anyway, that's curious, right?
Led by
Oh,
a 70s muscle
NASA.
car, man. They look cool too, yeah.
Oh, NASA. What you doing? Well, all right. Let's have a look at this one. I don't know if I showed you this one, didn't I?
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right. It's not bad. It's cool. I mean, these are just dudes. These are just people like us making good little clips, eh?
Up to 80% of the population gone by 2025? Damn. Military intelligence website Deagle.com has recently indicated that an 80% population reduction is in effect over the next 2 years, and the G7 countries are near the top of the list. This, of course, is highly disturbing, and I regret to say, slightly more accurate than I'd like to admit. The G7 countries and their population reductions are the UK at 78.5%, USA at 70.2%, Germany at 65%, France at 48.1%, Italy at 30.6%, Canada at 29.7%, and Japan at 17.6%. They go on to state, it is advised that people temporarily distance themselves from the UK, USA, and Germany. These governments are planning the utter destruction of their own populations, and most are complying. It's almost like a suicide cult. This is what happens when a massive war is waged upon the people and they don't even know it. This is what happens when you honor fake authorities rather than your own temple. This is what happens when you trust pharmaceutical companies before you trust nature. Up to 80% of the population gone.
Look,
I was just going to say, we're definitely not trying to spread fear. You know, this is obviously their plans, but like you said, you know, all of this only works if we comply. You know, that's the takeaway I get from stuff like that. But it's also be aware. You know, be aware that these are the plans, and you know, just be aware, I think, and able to respond if something does happen in your neck of the woods.
yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, what I take away from things like that is it's probably very accurate. But what I take away from it is like even going even deeper than just non-compliance, which I just assume from our whole community is the case already. It's actually like you're having like trusting your own inner navigational guidance system, like knowing your own sovereignty on these topics. Like, have I frozen?
No, you're still.
Oh, you're really listening intently. Okay, Campbell, you ready?
Man.
Oh, I thought you were frozen then. All right, let's go. So what I'm saying is like, yeah, to a point on this earth, wherever you stand, whatever you're doing, where there will be a day, there will come a day where we have to know our true own internal guidance system. We're going to be called on to make quick decisions, you know, decisions that are going to determine like, you know, quite strong destiny and fate lines. Like there are going to be moments coming up for all of us on that level. And I don't think any country is going to escape that. So where they might like say they're going to target certain countries doing this, you know, then you've got Australia so vulnerable to all their weather manipulation, you know, which is just as devastating, but more common here. You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm saying is I believe every single one of us at this moment in time with this level of consciousness and this like choice of lifestyle is capable from this point on to welcome into their lives lots of little examples of this. Like open that into your life and welcome it in, because all these little examples, like Campbell's dome getting flooded the other day, will enable you to warm up and to practice and exercise your response process. So like the more little things that happen that you can manage and cope with and like you end up coming out fine is good practice, because we're all pretty like lethargic when it comes to making quick like on the spot decisions. Like we're not called on to do that very often. And if you've never been in a situation of any sort of disaster around you, like you may never have been called on to use that side of yourself. So, and then when it comes to the bigger stuff, you know, it's going to be more natural to you, because trust me, all of you have the most amazing internal guidance system. And if you have turned your attention to nature, which I know most of you have, nature is the most amazing prophetic support system you have. Like, if you are putting your focus on nature, nature will show you what's coming. It'll show you what's happening, and it will show you when it's changing. The patterns in nature will be your guide. You will notice things before anyone else. You will become conscious of things, emergencies happening before it's hit you. You will, the animals will respond first. It all starts with the animals. They will respond before you will, before any alarms will, before your neighbors will, before your whole town does. Those animals will be in response. And when you see them moving en masse in any direction or doing something really strange, or like, you know, you have to follow the animals. Like, it's that simple. Like, follow the path of the animals, and there will always be nature there to guide you. So have your eyes attuned to that. That is why living on the land is such a benefit in these times. Yeah. But if you're in the city, you're going to have to attune yourself to the animals of your city. You know, the old ibis, the old trash can ibis, the pigeon, the rat,
chickens,
the rodents, watch the rodents, you know, the dogs howling. When a neighborhood of howling dogs occur, you got about 30 minutes.
You got to get out quick. Yeah. The dogs will show you before then, but they'll only howl when they know it's imminent and they're still there.
Yeah.
But birds and all this kind of stuff. And this is the thing is, you know, if something happens this year, the way I look at it is, I think I said it before, nowhere's safe, but everywhere's safe, because we don't know where it's going to happen. And the worst thing in my mind that we can do is lock ourselves down, right? Which a lot of people may be thinking of doing. I'm just going to lock myself away because it's too scary, it's too bad out there, it's too dangerous. But that's what they want. That's you know, let's be real about this. They want us locked down and they want us divided and separated. So I'm definitely not ever going to give that to them, man. I'm going to get out, live my life, and create my future. And I implore you to all do the same thing.
Well, just get good with country, guys. That's like what you need to do. Just get good with it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to, and the only thing you need to do is go into it, which is all around us in Australia. And, you know, like, just us camping at Mulaney is going to be doing that. Like, you know, just under the stars, just anything. I mean, Australia is just so crazy. It's just all bush and all desert. And it's just like, so easy to do, but you got to get into it. And then when you're in it, just go and sit with it. And then when you're sitting with it, just chat, just talk to it, you know, invite it to know you. Let it invite you to know it. Like, just like make friends with your best guidance system through the next several years. If you're going to go through an apocalyptic moment, get good with the earth that's making those decisions, right? Because she is the most powerful one here. Like, the true and only superpower on earth is Mother Nature. That is a fucking fact.
Yeah.
So Mother Nature is who is going to make these decisions. Like, they can throw like weather manipulation on her path, but when it comes down to it, she is the true and only superpower, and she could wipe them out. Why do you think they've all got underground bunkers sorted out? Like, why do you think they're not preparing to like control what's about to happen? They're preparing to like escape to it, and so that's them surrendering to it. You know, they're not in control.
I mean, it's a good point. You know, everyone's like scared that, you know, we're going to get, well, you know, it's talking about we're going to get taken over. There's going to be resets. We'll be eating bugs. We'll be in FEMA camps, 15-minute cities. But that's a very good point. Who's going to be controlling us if they're all underground? Like, clearly, I mean, you know, I mean, I've always said the biggest weapon is fear and propaganda, right? Getting us to think and do this to ourselves when they're all off hiding, right? So, just get in touch with nature, get in touch with yourself, and always look at the bigger picture. There's always more going on than what you're going to get in your news feed or, you know, your social media comments and all this kind of stuff. Because we do all get put in a sound chamber, an echo chamber. We really do. You know, like, I get heaps of history stuff coming up, and I don't get a lot of other stuff. So even that, they still, whatever you believe, they'll just feed more of it to you, just so that you can't, to block your vision, so you don't have a wide scope of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is actually a really powerful thing to get like integrated, which is nature is the only superhero here in this. She's the only superhero. She's the only superpower. She's the only super anything. Like, there's no technology that will stand up to her. There is no man or woman. There's no agenda. There's no like manipulation of her that's going to like mean anything to her, you know. And she would take this action because it's cyclic. It's cyclic. And,
Yeah.
you know, we study all the resets here on this realm, right? And all the cultures that like come and go with these resets. And, you know, we only really study at this level because we were denied its truth to begin with. And if it had just been a normal part of what we knew, we wouldn't have hunted it down like we all have, as if it's the most astounding concept ever. But the reality is, you take that to nature and you start like, imagine like, for, you know, what all of us have, as Campbell was saying, an algorithm going on in our socials and the information that's channeling to us, right? Everyone, all of us has that. But like, I would advise, and it would be smart of everyone, to start filling those algorithms with nature orientated like indicators, you know, weather stations and you know, storm stations, and just like anything that's going to sort of like bring your attention to what nature is up to. That is the cool new move from the truth seekers. Like the truth of where we're heading is going to be found in the study of nature, watching what she's doing. It. That's why I was so wanting to like let you all know about Jay's Omens show. It's brilliant for that, you know. And like there's all these other channels you can plug into that and get a really good picture. You're gonna know, and you'll know when something's like heading towards where you are. You'll know when things are changing. You'll know. You'll be watching the temperatures dropping in relationship to you, and also peaking. Like Australia is under a solar peak right now. It's friggin' hot. The sun is burning us. There's no way around it. Like, it is hotter than ever. It's like even at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this afternoon in the river, the sun is burning, and it's so white. It's so white, and there's so much humidity that comes now because everything's just steamed up and wet. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely impacting us. So, I mean, like, and so we'll watch the weather moving around Australia. We'll watch the volcano activity. We'll watch the auroras borealis. We'll watch lights in the sky. You know, we'll watch things happen to the ocean. You know, we've been like living this and observing it for a while now, and you know, and then plugging in the Indigenous elders and sort of like the privilege we've had talking to so many of them, and it always leads back to the animals, always leads back to nature. There's no diversion from that ever, ever, ever. You know, like we can tell when there's like rains coming because the certain trees will lose their bark. You know, the ants will tell you what's going on.
Yes, yeah, and that's another point, you know, like connect with your local Indigenous elders if you can, you know. Just connect, you know, asking questions. Because I know a lot of them want to talk, but with what's happened over the last, you know, generation or two, they don't have their, you know, a lot of their young people aren't that interested. So, you know, they want to get the information out. So, yeah, connect with them, ask them, you know, spend some time with them.
Yeah, and look, it's, you know, it's not always that easy to figure out how to do that. So, like, if you're here in Australia, so my advice is that you contact your local lands council and that lands council and say that you would like to meet the elder of your community. And part of the elders' custodianship is they offer that. They offer that that pathway to sit with them and to meet each other and to name each other. And they offer that as part of their custodianship of the lands. So yeah, if you make contact with your lands council and say you'd like to meet your local elder, then, you know, you'll be connected somehow. And then basically you just sit and you just listen. And it's usually a very quiet space. And it's usually very, you know, you can feel the reverence, you know, you can't help it. You can feel your reverence. It just gets exuded.
It's so different to what we're used to when you have conversations. It's so slowed down and thought out and intentional with what they say. It's just good to be around that, right? Because we all tend to be a bit, you know, hectic, going around to, you know, running around trying to get a million things done. But when we do that, we can't hear properly, right? We're not paying attention to nature and listening and all these kinds of things. So yeah, you know, basically do what you can, but just don't live in fear. You know, create. Let's create, right? Something better. Because, you know, if this cabal's going to fall, which I'm sure they are, then I mean that's pretty good to me, right? Let's start building a better world. Put your focus there, man.
Put your focus there. All right, I'm just going to take us back to the Facebook page. That's fun. That's a fun little diversion of a rant about the power of nature.
This is our meme.
Yeah, I'm going to
Lee
scroll.
Campbell's meme review.
Oh, this was, look, I'm going to show you this.
The ocean really is.
Yeah, like let's have a look at this. It's like an infographic about how deep the ocean really is. I found this interesting. I had never watched something like this.
How deep the ocean really is.
All hands, hoist the colors
Make you want to dance.
high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with their keys to the cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave. Yo.
How deep the ocean really is.
Pretty cool. It's pretty deep then.
Wow, man! Did you
11
even know?
kilometers.
Did you know it was that deep?
11 kilometers? No, Mariana Trench.
So, like the Mount Everest is way back. The Himalayas are way back.
Yeah, way back. Yeah, man.
I mean, and I.
The average is very deep too. I don't think the average would be that deep.
Grand Canyon. Just circle through it with your mind. So the average depth is under the
And I mean,
deep
gee,
as Grand
people
Canyon.
got pretty far down, right? Like James Cameron and was it
How-
Jacques Cousteau, the other one? Like they're down like 10 Ks, man.
There's James Cameron,
And Cameron 10 Ks.
and there's Jacques Picard.
Picard, 1960. That's crazy, man. And
Look at all that.
just-
Look at that at
just
the
to look at
bottom.
sharks and octopus that are just sitting around. I hope they weren't disappointed.
Man, I love that music. That was such a good soundtrack. I didn't want to like.
Very Gregorian, isn't it?
Oh, that was good. No, it was like Scandinavian Gregorian or something.
Gregorian.
I've got to try to figure out anyone who has music like that, email it to me. I love that sort of music.
Telling you at the bottom, original audio.
I have like always looking for amazing, beautiful international music. So anyone put me onto anything, jack me up. It's been a while. Oh, this was funny, Campbell.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Like just this is like the difference in this. Oh, I can't show it close. Don't worry about that one. That was just random. Basically saying we're really dumb now compared to then. All right, I'm just scrolling down. That was about Starbucks cups and how
the plastic, microplastics.
Yeah, like 20,000. Well, fuck it. Now I've talked about it. This is fun.
You guys, if you drink Starbucks, watch this.
That you get your coffee in at Starbucks. Let's talk about those.
A paper cup, by nature, should absorb water. If it's not absorbing water, then that means there must be a barrier in between the paper and the liquid. And that barrier is polyethylene plastic. A study found that in 15 minutes of contact with hot liquids leached 25,000 microplastic particles into your cup. But no one's questioning this. No one's really thinking about it because it's just part of our daily life.
You guys, if you drink...
There you go. And it was Rockefeller, wasn't it? Rockefeller said, I will have everyone wrapped in plastic. Guess he meant internally as well. Weird. No, that's Canada, right? I mean,
yeah.
What is that?
Mm.
Looks like
Actually, I saw the weirdest thing yesterday. I don't know if I posted it. It was almost too weird to be true, and I may not have actually posted. I hadn't had time to check it out, but people were saying that clouds are falling onto their backyard,
I
and they're
saw a
picking up.
meme saying the
You saw
clouds are
it?
falling. I didn't see any pictures. I just saw it, the
Oh,
word
I'll see if I
saying
can
something
find it.
about the clouds are falling.
And they were picking them up, and they look like some like light see-through kind of blobby material, and then
What?
they just like push them back up into the air, and then they were just like,
What?
and I yeah, I'll see if I can find it. All right, hang on.
Oh,
Anyway, that's the snow. Yeah, weird. Look, weird snow. What is that? What's that snow that just folds off like material?
who knows, right?
Uh,
Last winter they were burning the snow.
Burning the snow. There's a lot of these popping up, little like portal creating devices.
Oh, portals. Oh.
Have you seen these pop up?
Oh, does it make something disappear, does it?
I just various different ones of
Ah, okay. Interesting.
yeah. Wait, I think that's at the end there. Yeah, then it goes into I'll just play it with a it goes into pieces of like all the portals that were all the relics, portal relics from around the world.
Yeah,
That's a cool like that could be a cool set of tarot cards, all the portal relics. There's a lot of them.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
There are.
Wow, that would be a trippy set of tarot cards if you put all the different old portal relics on them. Look, call out to Deborah Simpson. She puts a lot of content from Australia onto the Tartaria Australia Facebook page, and I really appreciate Deb. So excellent work. She goes around and, just like walks through nature and highlights the structures that she sees on her way. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
There was one other thing before I start again to find that one clip we're going to talk about, and I hope that it's here somewhere. Let's see, going quickly here. Lots of good stuff here. We could analyze all of it. A lot of people have seen.
Entertainment at its finest.
Like
Mushrooms.
maybe it won't be. Oh, that was quite a nice photo, I thought.
Wow, man, look at that amphitheater thing in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm not finding it. I wanted to show you the quartz crystal popping out of the road.
Out of the
You've seen that?
Yeah, you showed me, but that's crazy, man.
Everyone's sending in lots of pictures of weird sun rays. Getting
Yep.
a lot of these at the moment because people are noticing a couple of things. And I actually spoke to Uncle Lewis about it, and he said that the sun and moon have definitely moved, and people are seeing sun rays on the opposite side from where the sun's setting, and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah. Craziness. That one, square clouds, yeah.
Yeah, weird cloud stuff. All right, this is a
Better not
very
play that one, we'll get banned.
disturbing
So they
interview.
go and check it out on the Tartaria Australia Facebook page. We'll leave the link below.
We will, more sunsets. I'm going fast, sorry. It's very boring just sitting here. There's just one more thing that I wanted to show you guys.
It's very cool. It's just crazy, that one. I mean, it's basically a road that with all these big crystal rocks just coming through the
Two suns. There's a good one.
Nice, look at that.
Oh, Tigers. Tigers. I just started again accidentally. Oh, Jonesy.
Find it. We can
up, man.
insert it with the magic of technology. We'll insert it if you find it.
Yeah, look, we can't hang around doing that all day.
We can't be getting people into the habit of scrolling. He's got a few tabs open there, Miss Jones.
Yeah, it's my sloppy work ethic. I've always got like 20 things going on at once.
Tell me about it, man. It's a crazy world. It's man, one of those. So if you would like the world to be a little less crazy, go and check out the links below. Check out Kelly's Facebook page. Come and see us in Mullaney. Come and join us in Tartaria. Give us any suggestions of any, good movies or docos that we might watch. Like us, share this video around and be, generally cool people. There you go.
Yeah, man.
My little spiel.
Yeah. Thanks, Campbell. Feel like I've done a few spills today.
Spills.
Yeah, but I just want to reiterate one last time that, the power of this earth and our destinies and fate relies only on Mother Earth and yourself.
Yeah.
And everything else you can mitigate by being interconnected with her. And that's just the pathway I'm choosing to go down very powerfully. And it really does cut through a lot of crap. It really does cut through a lot of chatter, a lot of confusing ideas, a lot of noise. It just becomes really simple. Hey, it just becomes really, you can focus in. Just it's a different experience. Like make it your, next 2 years of truth seeking.
Yeah, man, and focus on what you can actually do and what you can affect. So many people focus on things that they can't do anything about, right? All these bad things, but that's just going to make you feel more helpless, man. Focus on things you can change and you can do, and understand that if you can't do something and there's something you want to change but you can't do it, well, there's someone else out there to do that job. So, but most of all, just have fun, right? Live like this life is to live. It's better to die on your knees and live on your feet, right? You don't want a controlled life is not really living. So, I hope that everyone this year doesn't buy too much into the fear and lock themselves away and basically do the job for these, nefarious ones. I hope you all get out and start creating what you really want, because I think if that's what we do, then that's what we're going to get. I really do believe that we're creators.
Yeah, and like I agree. I totally agree. I was just about to just add that, and at this point in human history, it's a very individualized journey. There's this, and that's what it's about. It's about individual. It's about getting to yourself.
Yeah, life's an inside job, right? There's no one out there who can make better decisions for you in your life than you. And so putting all your sort of faith in people and things outside of you is maybe not the best way to go. Now, find out who you really are and what you really want, and just walk that path, man.
Yeah, man, because life's an inside job, man. It's like a fucking inside job. Come on. I'll make a t-shirt about that next week. Life's an inside job.
Life's an inside job.
That's it, man. That's it. We've solved it all.
That's it. That's the secret of life, the universe, and everything. It's not food. It's life's an inside job.
We're just ending on the koala bears then. That's it.
Koala bears?
Yeah.
What koala bears? How much can a koala bear?
The ones we're ending on. You know why we're ending on the koala bears?
Why are we ending on the koala bears?
Because, Campbell, our koala bears are fucking excellent, man. Who doesn't want to end on a koala bear? Chuck one on right now.
All right. There's a cute koala bear for you all. I'll insert that over the top. Yes, koala bears are cool. Save the koalas, save the indigenous. Get out and meet them, talk to them, get out in nature, do all the cool stuff. Become more of who you really are.
By getting your totem animal sorted.
Yes.
That's a good start. I've got a new project rolling out, but a good start is for you to identify what your indigenous totem animal is, and then go and learn about that bloody animal, because your job is to become it, learn from it, and protect it.
Yeah, man. If you all did that, pretty much everything would be solved, right? Because animals need nature. If we make sure there's enough nature for them, then there's going to be enough for all of us, and not enough room for all these non-nature things, right?
That's right. That's right, baby. All right. Love you all. We will see you next week.
Yes. All links below. Don't forget. Cool hats. Woohoo.
Oh, thank you. That's right. Where's my hat? Thank you so much for the hats. We love them. Feel free to start sending me more presents in Campbell. He gets them all the time. And I have to just watch him unwrap his Kuni book on this, or his funeral instrument on this. So look at this is my new copper jewelry. Kelly, I've got some new copper jewelry, and look at my new mandala pendant. Kelly, look up. I was just so good.
Yes, my new pocket watch. That was very cool.
Yeah, my new pocket watch.
Get very well with my new hat there. So I
Yes,
think if you've got a jacket, send it my way.
And I think the audience is building Campbell into a character. Is my feeling here. I think he's becoming a caricature.
I'm a caricature of myself.
Yes, I like it.
Do I need a monocle?
Yeah, something's happening. And pocket watches and gloves and hats.
Yeah,
I think we have to. I think we have to work on like this part now, people.
This part? Oh, come on! Look at this. What's wrong with this?
Is it a cape?
T-shirt or cape?
Is it a cape? Is it a jacket?
I think the cape needs to come back.
Collar?
Yeah.
Is it some like natural animal skin? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, John Tarzan.
Who is this man? Who is this old man of Tartaria? We have yet to unveil him, people. Let's see what he looks like by the end of 2024.
Yes, if you want to see me in silly clothes or maybe expensive tailor-made clothes, just send them to me. Oh. But if you want to have link below, go to check out Kim's Instagram and send her a message, and all links to everything else below as well.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week for the Crazy Weird World update. It seems to be our new show. Love
Stay
you.
awesome.
Bye.
Bye.